Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be discussing tonight's NBA DFS slate for DraftKings. And so first up, we are going to talk about the injuries we have on the board. Julius Randle continues to be out for the Knicks. Jimmy Butler is out tonight for Miami as he was suspended in the altercation with the Pelicans from a couple of nights ago. Tyler Hero is questionable. He had hyperextended his knee, I believe, at the end of the game, or left during the fourth quarter. And so he is questionable to play tonight. Terry Rozier is also questionable for Miami. He's missed the last few games, and if he and Hero are both ruled out tonight, they are going to be very short-handed. OG Anunoby is still out for the Knicks. Aaron Nesmith is questionable for tonight's game. He was out in his last game on Sunday, so we will see if that was just a precaution with it being a back-to-back for them. So we don't have news on him. Ben Simmons has a knee issue and is questionable, leg soreness. Excuse me. Isaiah Stewart is still out with his suspension after he punched Drew Eubanks. Scottie Pippen Jr. and John Concha are out for Memphis, as well as Brandon Clark, who's been out the entire year. Josh Richardson is out for Miami. Malik Sasser is out for Detroit. And Nikola Jovic is out for Miami. So with this slate, not too many major injuries to worry about, which is always nice. But the one that we are really looking forward to or need the information is Miami. And unfortunately, they are the last game of the night. So hopefully they are those who are questionable are ruled out sometime during the day here. So with that being said, let's get to our first matchup. Toronto taking on Indiana. As I said, Indiana's on a back-to-back, but they had played yesterday early evening. I think the game started at 4 or 5. With that being said, they are playing Toronto, who has struggled on the defensive end. And with Indiana being one of the fastest paced teams in the league, this could be a breakout game for fantasy. Specifically for Indiana, I'm looking at Halliburton and Siakam. Siakam obviously got traded from Toronto to Indiana, so I'm sure there will be some extra motivation on his side. But for Halliburton, he is 9,500, and he's put up five straight double-doubles in his last 5 games, and I think 9,500 is a little too cheap for him. I mean, we had seen him in the 10K range pretty much the entirety of the year, if not a little bit higher. The only thing that's down with him is the scoring. The assists are still there, but if he can, with the fast-paced matchup tonight, if he can get some more points, I think he is a very nice play this evening. For Toronto, there really isn't a ton of people I'm looking at other than RJ Barrett. He's returning from an injury, and he's played solid. He might not have the upside at this price, but he definitely can go for 40 fantasy points. Who else? Jakob Poeltl is someone I'm interested in for Toronto. He should get about 26 to 30 minutes a game. I think a double-double is viable tonight, considering Miles Turner typically sits out on the 3-point line or usually drags out. So I think there's extra rebound chances for Poeltl potentially. The one person I'm looking at for Indiana that is a value play is Jalen Smith. Um, he's a really good fantasy point per minute producer. On the year, he is averaging 18 minutes a game and is averaging 21 fantasy or DK points. With him at home, his field goal percentage is a bit higher, and Toronto struggles in the front court. So I think he, at this price, could have a really nice night, and I think he'll be pretty low owned. And then Kelly Olynyk is someone I'm a bit interested in. He doesn't get a ton of minutes, but he is involved with the basketball a lot, whether it be passing, dribbling. So the assist and rebound numbers should be there. It's just if he can get enough in the allotted time period that he's on the court. Other than that, there isn't really anyone I'm interested in on this in this game. So with that, let's move to the next one in Detroit and the Knicks. The Knicks have struggled, obviously, with the injuries recently. Jalen Brunson has been hot. I think on this 4-game slate, he's not a must play, but I think he is a great play considering the safeness in his minutes and the matchup. For Detroit, I do like Cunningham, even though he is 8K, and it says that the offensive ranking is not very good for this position, but he is their engine, and I think 8K is just too cheap for him. He's getting, 30 minutes a night, if not a little bit more, and the usage is there. He's going to go score. And I think this game is a bit closer than people are anticipating due to the injuries. And Detroit, I think, is improving. Other than that, I would say there really isn't anyone else I'm interested in other than Evan Fournier. He's a cheapie tonight. He's facing the Knicks, and he's had a ton of frustrations while he was on the team. Barely got any playing time. He should get about 20 minutes tonight. His usage isn't super high, but with with Marcus Sasser out, he should get some more ball handling duties, and I think he takes advantage of it as well. Quentin Grimes also played 26 minutes and plays against his former team tonight, and he is just a touch cheaper. So I don't hate the idea of going here. He was his first game with Detroit was against Orlando, and he had 26 minutes. So he shot 8 times, 5 of them were threes. It seems like he's a little bit more involved, so I don't hate him as a potential salary saver either. That we'll move over to Brooklyn and Memphis. This is probably the ugliest game on the slate in terms of fantasy purposes. So with Ben Simmons questionable with his leg injury, he's been playing about 20-ish minutes. I'm expecting those extra minutes to probably go to Cam Johnson. He'll probably grab a few of those minutes. And maybe Lonnie Walker. I guess those are kind of the guys I'm looking at that would get those minutes if he were out. This is just a tough matchup for both teams. They both struggle offensively. Vince Williams Jr. is someone who's interesting. He plays a ton of minutes. Um, Tough matchup against the Clippers last time out. Brooklyn should be an easier one. He is priced decently high, but he's getting the assists and the rebounds, and he's scoring. So he is someone in tournaments I'm looking at. Cam Thomas is someone else I'm looking at. His price has dropped or come down over the last week and a half, and he's still chucking. I mean, 19 shots, 16 shots, 20, 19. And I think against a struggling Memphis team that doesn't have a lot of guard or wing depth, he could flourish tonight potentially. Other than that, there really isn't anyone on my radar from this game. So with that, let me look at Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder at 4,500 with Simmons out could get some more usage. I mean, he shot 14 times in his last game. They just didn't go down. So he is someone that I might be interested in a little bit tonight. With that, let's move on to the last game of the evening in Miami against Sacramento. Sacramento is on a back-to-back as they played the Clippers last evening, and Miami is dealing with a bunch of injuries. If Hero and Rozier are ruled out, then I think Sacramento probably blows Miami out, and I think Miami just gets a ton of run with their young guys. And those young guys, I would say, would be, Bam, Duncan, Jaime Jaquez, Caleb Martin, Haywood Highsmith. You got Kevin Love as a backup. John Kane might sniff the rotation. So there's definitely options here. But hopefully if they are ruled out, during the day, we have that information. But if we don't, and or if they end up playing, I do really like Rozier and Hero tonight. I think at least Rozier, his price is more palatable than Hero. I think they're virtually kind of like the same player, except I think Hero is a better shooter. But Rozier is more of like a rebounder and passer. So I think Rozier has a bit more upside than Hero tonight, if they both play. But if one of them plays and the other doesn't, obviously they would probably get my call if I had to choose one of them. So if Hero's out and Rozier's in, I think Rozier's, a fantastic play. If Rozier's out and Hero's in, I think Hero's a good play. But I would prefer Rozier over Hero. For Sacramento, I think Fox is too cheap. He has been crushing 55, 55, 56, 65, and his price hasn't moved. So he is someone that I'm looking at tonight. Even though it should be a tough matchup, I think he can get it done. Malik Monk didn't have his greatest game last night, but is only 5,800 tonight. And with Miami being a more paint-heavy defensive team, I think Sacramento can take advantage of the guards and wings, and Monk is one of those players. For Miami, Duncan Robinson is someone I'm interested in. And that's about it. Maybe Kevin Love. And I guess Bam, because Bam will just get a lot of the usage. Kevin Love is interesting if he gets close to 20 minutes. He's about a fantasy point per minute guy. He could be a salary saver depending on the outcome of the injuries. Keegan Murray at 5,100. He's just playing a ton of minutes, and the shooting will come around. He's someone that has a very palatable price that I think could go off. So he's someone I'm just keeping an eye on from a price perspective, because he's been pretty much in the 6K range the entire year. So with that is my preview for tonight. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I do this most days of the week, and I do have some written articles that I do and put out on my Patreon. So if you want to see that, I do give out a free article a day, or most days. And if there isn't something that you see, I do have stuff that you can subscribe and read. So I would really appreciate if you guys did that. Otherwise, it's cool that you guys are watching, and I appreciate all of that as well. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.